unknown to another, each time startled and does not want to hear of the already passed through, the country of before. Poem that at each door believes itself in the room closest to the end, where finally everything will be gone over, dismantled, held up, carefully laid back down while talked into the beauty which can turn in a minute. To hear of every other poem written is to begin revision, and what cannot be left enough alone. And so the lovers look at each other until none else can come near. Poem which never wanted anything but this, tries anyway, so brave, unable to know where she heads, unwrapping until only a gift which cannot be given, as it cannot be let go. Chemotherapy. My friend is going through the fire on his knees, his hands, crossing the entire field of it. Once in a while he calls out, bewildered, the other side unclear, wanting to just lie down and wait among the scattered stones. Unimaginable heat. He pants, lost in the light of what keeps happening. Think water, and he manages to make out one nurse up against the bright, and it takes everything to tell her what he needs, as if he had come upon the one tree still standing and understood she promises nothing, who in her uniform was all that was ever asked for, and who could hold him as he has never been held. Private equity. To put one and one together, making two, and so on. A house appears, room with a bed in it. To configure anyway, even without enough information. We work into it, the chosen, to measure everything out until the one who takes over becomes taken. This as strategy, the art of how we build until management in turn builds us, elegant the logic used to draw out more than what is put in. Everyone wants beyond, even with the one last page as exit plan. It is by return how we will be known. To end up where we start again, and to look as if we gained. Somewhere in New Jersey is the center. 3 miles off the interstate is whatever heaven might be to those who dream of a better return. Location is utmost, is everything, and here, faster than imagined, exchanges are made. This, declared everlasting by brick laid in a pasture along fallow, one plan vast enough to house the many servers required to keep track of each transaction. This, the place money built, so money can build. Payment begins, which is how you go in until you forget the name of the agency that brought you here. Any point of reference, lost enough that value appears everywhere. Who would hear as you run each formula into the night, examine what is wrought in the cables, the ceaseless flicker? What can be made with just one push, this work of wanting more than the actual? To watch yourself move in and out of all that truth and beauty. To be in debt is to remain awake. Given pornography. All this work leads to holding both at once. In the midst of the crowd, a woman services two men. Serves might be a kinder word, but we want this explicit. Pressing a way through to some bed or stage or platform is what we do. And as she rises her body against each of them, this makes the argument of resolution, of unlike moving into like, until everything finally is the same. We keep in time. This is not elsewhere. Nowhere is the center, more not the point. What hand belongs to whom and where, and to take turns and to bear that someone goes first, which can never be exact or equal, is how faith must come into all that touch. Do not be astonished. She has placed herself to be lost, to be eaten while eating, a darkening bruise of too much, a guide of figuring which door to push against, already open. We watch for the ending, not wanting it to end. What to know that we did not before, save the ungodly angles. To do while being done. Polite the mirror with anything possible. It is not about who wants whom more, but you cannot help wondering what happens to her. She, who has been caught as if between slides of glass, her body so useful. What comes of each entrance given, like bread to taste, to begin each day as if starting over, considering what she has made of herself, for herself, by herself, and how you could never have been her until now. Quiet as a church, holy as a trinity, until just now, the noise of trying to get it right. Pay attention. I can only do what is here, but you have an entire congregation of choice if you are, they say. The child believes you cannot be just doing nothing. I watched, I asked, but also without going very far. I took care of myself. I took care of myself, thinking much too often I took care of someone else. Everything feels like payment. In fact, we come into this pain. And you, who are nowhere to be found, who make no noise, who cannot be smelled or tasted, wander through with all of us wanting you at the same time. Oh, to be wanted like that, for you to pull up a chair and let your knees touch mine. For one moment, not to answer the other call, not to look past my shoulder when something else moves. Thank you.